How's everybody doing today? Um, Today I wanted to talk about religion versus spirituality, which is kind of sort of a very sensitive topic. So I just want to put a disclaimer out. Um, these are my personal views and how I feel about the subject. Okay. Hopefully, I do not offend anyone. But hey, people, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, you know. So, religion versus spirituality. Okay. Um, Majority of people, well, religious people, they take in their beliefs from their parent, from their grandparents, and they take in their religion from their parents as well. Okay? So it's like a ongoing thing, from generation to generation. All right. They worship the Bible, which was man-made. And for the ones that don't know, there was a lot of great things that were left out of the Bible because it was edited. So we're missing out on a lot of our history and her story. Okay. Not saying that the Bible is fake or anything, but I just believe that those great parts of the Bible, they were left out, just to control us and keep us from reaching our true power. Okay. Um, and then when it comes to spirituality, it's so much deeper because with the spiritual world, we tend to get our answers from the source. Okay. So we are researchers, we are scientists, historians, because we want to know the truth. We are willing to dive in and go deep, deep as far as it'll take us to get to the answers to the questions that we have. Spiritualists, they can call forth the answers to their questions from the divine source themselves. Okay. So we don't necessarily need a pastor. We don't need a preacher teaching us about what they read because we are very direct when it comes to learning about our history and ancient knowledge. Okay. What a lot of people fail to realize is during the slave trade, our heritage, our beliefs, our spirituality was lost. Okay? Our ancestors, they honored gods and our ancestors before them and made traditional sacrifices. There was a harmonious balance between the natural and the spiritual world. Okay? And then the curse began. All right? In the 18th century, the European Christianity beliefs were brought into slavery. Okay? So that is where everything started to become lost. Okay? Um, it was a very hard obstacle as far as getting us to accept the Christianity, because we were slaves, but at the end of the day, they beat you so many times, and want you to worship a certain something, you just going to go ahead and give in. And that's pretty much what happened, so our ancestors gave into spirituality, but at the end of the day, like behind closed doors, even though they bent the knee, they were still able to try to keep some of our traditional African rights and beliefs behind closed doors, so that all would not be lost. Okay, so that's why some of our people now, the ones that are practicing spirituality, the ones that are learning about it, like that little crease in between the door was able to send out knowledge so that you can access it and still be able to learn, and you can spread and pass among your family and your friends as well. Okay, now bringing us to the present time, you know um everything that was good for us is actually bad now. All right. um Say for instance, let's start off with the Pentacle. All right. Now, many religious people, they ask me, like, do you worship the devil? I'm like, well, where'd you get that from? I never told you that, you know? And it's like, do your research before you ask questions like that. The pinnacle can be a representation of the elements and the watchtowers of each direction. It can also represent love and light. It can represent good magic, good fortune. The pinnacle represents so many things, and you should actually just do your research before asking people insulting questions. Okay. Um, Religious people, sometimes they also think, oh, she's collecting herbs and she's doing rituals over there. Oh my God, she's a witch. Well, all right, this day and age, that word can be very offensive to people, and it actually scares people. You don't want to say that about someone and get and slander their name and give them like a a a bad name, pretty much. Like, people are not actually asking enough questions, doing enough research. Like, the word pharmacy comes from the Greek word pharmika, okay, meaning magic, sorcery, and enchantment. Okay, so pretty much back in the day, like if you were sick and you went to a witch doctor, that was a blessing to be able to have someone with the knowledge to heal you. Okay, with natural herbs and sacred rituals. Okay, they didn't have no hospital back then. If you didn't go to a witch doctor, you were gonna die. Okay, so back then and there, a witch doctor was a blessing. Okay, it's not a curse, a blessing. And it wasn't bad, it was good. So sometimes you just have to do your research, and you have to consider people's feelings, when you say certain things about them, okay? Especially if you don't know the truth, all right? But once again, we're talking about a lot of judgmental people and the way they think, But you have to kind of sort of try to be open-minded sometimes, Think positive, and you'll get positive answers out of certain situations, all right? So now, when we talk about sex rights and, sex is impure, don't have sex until you're married. If you lie with another man and he's lying with a woman, he's an abomination, or vice versa. You have a lot of that going on. You have a lot of women must fulfill men needs and be submissive to a man and all types of stuff, Well, okay, this is how I feel, all right? Because all of this is your own personal preference, okay? So before the concept of virginity or there were any expectations for it, people could freely pursue sexual relationships like all they wanted to. Hell, prostitution was one of the first hustles of all times. And in the early 1600s, males and females, they used to pay taxes on that shit. So it was like, okay, to each his own. And it just became illegal like in the early 1900s or whatever, due to the WCTU, which is the Women's Christian Temperance Union. Once again, the religious people, they come in and they try to run your lives, So, as far as that whole abomination statement, okay, is concerned, which is a really fragile conversation, but once again, these are my views. And I feel as though two-spirited people, okay? A lot of people call it two-spirited people, which means bisexual people, okay? One of the realest quotes that I've ever heard was, two spirits in one body, both masculine and feminine, is considered a gift from the Creator. That's just something that you're born with, okay? you're able to love both men and both female equally. You're able to receive love from both. Oh my goodness, you're bomb. You're incredible. That is, hey, that's just my views on that situation. But a lot of two-spirited people, they do feel like they're an abomination because of what society has said to them or how they have made them feel. Like they're depressed, they're confused. Half of the time, some of them, they want to kill themselves because they're ashamed, but they shouldn't be, because it is a blessing to be able to do what you do. You know what I'm saying? To have both spirits in one body, that's a blessing. Okay? So, once again, people judge people for their gifts and they call them curses, okay? But they're not, they're blessings. All right, so just getting into about the whole submission thing with the man and the woman. Okay, that's all I gotta say, because at the end of the day, we're coming from a day and time where majority of the women out here, they're doing all the work. They're holding the man down. You mean to tell me, like, when I get home from work, I gotta cook dinner for you and all of the whole family and all of that stuff? Nah, it just don't work like that. It doesn't. Nowadays, the men, they gotta put their work in too. The things have changed. Like, back then, yeah, the men were the providers, for the family. They did bring home the bread, you know what I'm saying? And the woman did cook the meal. But nowadays, you can't expect for your woman to be submissive to you, okay? When you're not leading your household correctly. So to me, it all depends on the situation of the family. You know what I'm saying? As far as to where I believe that, going back to with Lilith, because that's my boo, that's my goddess. When man and women were created equal, when they both were made of dirt, okay? They're equal at that point. Okay, so it just all depends on your relationship. Don't nobody have to be submissive to you because you're a man. Okay, you're not acting like one. All right, so if you do your job, you're rewarded as such. All right, so just moving on to we're talking about we say masturbation is a sin. Okay, well, at the end of the day, it's just like what you expect for me to go out and sleep with someone just because I'm feeling a certain type of way, when I could just do it myself, protect myself from STDs, or I know what I like, I know what I want, I could please myself. I don't need nobody else to do that, sometimes you just don't have time for that. Sometimes you just don't feel like going out and having to meet somebody and get to know them and understand them before you let them enter you or receive any type of energy that you have, So why should that be a sin? Okay, but once again, we're talking about the judgmental people, right? Okay, because I've read many of stories where they have it as to, like, if you're bisexual or whatever type of sexual orientation you are, where they will perform like exorcisms on you and stuff like that. Like, that is unreal, but just at the end of the day, like, religion is pretty much designed to point the finger and judgmental accusations, and it's designed to create a leader. It's designed to create a follower, not a leader, okay? Because it's nothing wrong with following the good book, okay? Because it's some very, very good information in there, okay? But you also have to understand that that book is man-made. The Creator didn't tell you himself about the things that were in the book, okay? So don't assume that they are the truth. Now, if you want to go and dive in and go deep and receive the message from the source yourself, well, that's a different story, okay? Because in spirituality, it's designed to embrace your differences from other people and to love yourself and to trust yourself and to be who you were born to be, okay? So at this point, you just have to ask yourself, like, are you religious or are you spiritual? Okay? So that is the question for today. If you have any questions for me, you can always you can email me, okay, at misbehavingenchantress@gmail.com. You can also check out my website, enchantressmisbehaving.com. And I appreciate you for listening to my video today. Hopefully I was able to help you with some things. And just stay on the lookout for other videos that I have coming soon and new products that I have coming on my website. I'll be adding something new every week. Thank you very much and enjoy your day.